What's up, everybody? Hope you all have been doing well lately. After making my Outbreak Easter egg strategy guide, I felt as though just saying that my top two picks for the Legion boss fight were the best was just not good enough. I felt as though I had a lot of success with the M16 and the Gallow loadouts that I had personally designed, but was I right? Did I just run with the first thing I had success with because it seemed to be the meta? I don't know. So because of this, I decided to run a lot of tests and see if there was any way to maximize damage on the Legion boss himself. After playing through the Easter egg many times, I've decided on the top 5 weapons to use against Legion that also help clearing out the regular horde, whether you're playing solo or with a squad. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Now, coming in at number 5 is the AMP63 pistols dual wield. Now, these pistols surprised me. They do pack quite a punch. No pun intended. But dual wielding these bad boys gives you enough firepower to take down a regular horde of zombies pretty easily. Since they are pistols, your mobility is higher than that with an AR or tac rifle, but they don't have as much power as other guns have. I took these pistols into the boss fight, but the footage corrupted, so I can't show you any floating damage numbers on Legion or anything, but they did hold their own. I did, however, get some footage fighting an Orda with the pistols and the Gallow. Both of them pack a punch to the same level and the same damage tier, and you can see just by how much faster the shotgun drains his health that the pistols probably aren't as great as everyone makes them out to be. When I was in the boss fight, I was able to break the Legion twice and destroy 2 orbs with the pistols, but it took a while because they need to be reloaded frequently and they can run out of ammo super fast. For the last third of the Legion's health during that boss fight, I just decided to use my Gallow loadout, and it took nowhere near as long to break him and destroy an orb as it did with the pistols. So they're fun to use, they're lightweight and slightly challenging, but better than any other AR or tac rifle or LMG that you might want to load in with, which is why we're going to go ahead and drop these in the number 5 spot. Now, coming in at the number 4 spot is the ray gun. Now, maybe it's a surprise to you, maybe it isn't, but our old friend Ray has made it into our top 5 for the utility that it brings into the boss fight. It excels at wiping out the horde to rebuild our field upgrade, absolutely shreds Manglers and Krasny's Soldats, and does a fair amount of damage to Legion himself. The real reason why this wonder weapon made the list is that it does 2,400 damage to Legion per shot, and because the Ray shots are considered explosive damage, there is no drop-off like there is with regular bullet weapons, meaning no matter what distance you shoot him from, you will hit him for the same amount of damage every single time. And since we're talking about Ray weapons, I do want to go ahead and give the Ray K an honorable mention here. It doesn't do much against the boss, doing slightly over 1,000 with each shot to his armor and around 2,500 to the orbs when he's broken. But it's really good at clearing out the horde, just like the ray gun is. And honestly, either of these weapons would be a perfect secondary to complement one of the other weapons on this list. I really didn't want to include a wonder weapon, but I mean, come on, guys. It's the ray gun. Like, come on. Coming in at number 3 is the M79 Grenade Launcher. I know. That's probably surprising to a lot of you. But I spent a lot of time trying to decide what would be good for the boss fight, and I thought to myself, if the ray gun is considered explosive damage and provides consistent delivery of that damage, could actual explosives be viable? So I decided to try the Sigma, the RPG, and the M79 Grenade Launcher. I figured that since they had different damage values listed in their statistics in the Create a class, that one must be better than the other, but I was wrong. All 3 launchers do the same amount of damage to the boss regardless of their stats in Create a class. Every weapon I tested damage numbers with for this list were all Pack-a-Punch level 3 and Legendary damage tier. With that in mind, these were the results. The RPG, Sigma, and M79 all showed 2 floating damage numbers equaling 4,750 for a total of 9,500 damage per direct hit with each projectile. Now, since they all do the same amount of damage, it comes down to which one is the most practical to use. The Sigma and the RPG have very low mobility and can make it difficult to avoid being hit by normal and special zombies, so in my opinion, the M79 is the clear winner. Explosives also have a unique quality in that they will naturally destroy armor, even without Shatter Blast attached, meaning 2 or 3 well-placed shots into a horde will actually wipe most of them out. The splash damage from the M79, as well as the ray gun, I forgot to mention that, also make it very, very easy to collect ether crystals for the ether canister step down in the facility. Also, there were many times I would hit a Tempest directly with this launcher and their heads just explode, instantly killing them. Now, the most interesting and unexpected thing I discovered about using launchers is this. Their damage actually scales up and increases based on how many players are in your game. Yes, more players equal more damage. Now, I went back and checked to make sure this wasn't the case for all guns, and it is not. I played a game with my friend Heather using my M16 and saw that my floating damage numbers were exactly the same as what they were for a solo game. But if we look at footage from her stream, and her link will be down in the description below if you want to check her out, we can see that in a 4-player game, her maxed out RPG showed 2 floating damage numbers reading 11,875 for a whopping total of 23,750 damage per direct hit on his armor. And then when he was broken, it appeared as though she got 21,250 times 2 for a total of 42,500 damage. If this guide was for a full squad, all the launchers would be in the number 1 spot. I don't know if this is a bug or not, but for now, it seems to be very rewarding to bring a maxed out launcher into the Legion fight. Either way, the M79 has stolen my heart, and it feels like this overlooked weapon can actually be useful for something than just grinding camos out of it. And coming in at number 2, you already know, it's that Gallow baby. Now, if you were hoping to see something different here than you've heard from me before, then I'm very sorry to have disappointed you. I was really hoping to find something different to put up here, but this shotgun's just amazing. That's all I can say about it. And with all the testing I did, I am now 1000% confident that my loadout is the only loadout for the Gallow that you should be rocking during the Legion boss fight. Just to remind everyone what that is, we have the Infantry V-Choke for tighter ADS spread. Don't forget to ADS on Legion's chest and orbs. The Reinforced Heavy Barrel for extra range and increased fire rate. The Ember Sighting Point for hip fire accuracy and salvage drops. 12-round magazine for maximum ammo capacity. And the Marathon stock to maximize our mobility. Just to be sure I was right, I went ahead and tested the Task Force barrel again, which everyone seems to love, and it was painfully obvious that the extra range is needed for this fight. Without the Reinforced Heavy Barrel, I found myself needing to climb onto objects or just completely ignore the boss because he was too far away. Now, it's hard to see exactly how much damage this gun is doing because it's a pellet shot, and each of those shots produces several numbers, and they all kind of cover each other up. But it's easy to see in some places it's doing well over 1,000 damage, and all of that is going to add up, so several thousand points worth of damage. And the increased fire rate really helps make sure you can get in, get out before you get swarmed. Whenever I play solo, it takes about 3/4 of a magazine to completely destroy an orb, making this the obvious choice for number 2 on our list. Now, coming in the number 1 spot is our Lord and Savior, the M16 Tactical Rifle. I'm going to sound like a broken record here, but like I said, I wanted to back up what I said before in my last video with some scientific evidence, so let's take a look at a few things. First off, this loadout is one I designed myself, and after beating the boss several times with it solo and with friends, I'm going to say without a shadow of a doubt, this bad boy deserves to be at the top. First, let's look at the loadout again, just to remind everyone quickly. Use whatever you like for the optic, but I rock the axial 3 times because this gun is nasty hip-fired, so you don't always need to aim down sights. Our muzzle is the flash guard for no drawback and increased equipment drops. Task Force barrel for maximum damage. Ember Sighting Point for hip fire accuracy and salvage drops. Bruiser grip for maximum mobility. 54-round mag for maximum ammo. Serpent wrap handle grip to avoid losing movement speed. And the SAS combat stock, again, to increase our movement speed as we get a 78% increase towards our aim walking speed, which is massive. Now, when I went to see how much damage this thing did, I was surprised. I never really paid attention to the floating damage numbers until I decided to make this list, but this is what I found. Each bullet from close range into the Legion's armor does 2,263 damage. And this thing is a 6-round burst. So if each of those bullets in the burst hits, you're doing 13,578 damage per burst. Now, when you shoot the orbs with the M16, each individual bullet does 4,250 damage, meaning a single burst from the weapon does 25,500 damage to the orb. This is massive. There is a reason you see a lot of people running this gun, and if you haven't tried it yet, I would highly recommend using it. It is a very difficult gun to get used to using. The 6-round burst can feel clunky sometimes, and shooting at hip fire seems counterintuitive, but with these attachments and a little practice, you'll be shredding hordes in no time. Once you've gotten used to how this weapon handles, and there are literally thousands of dead zombies sitting at your feet, you will realize why myself and so many others hold this gun in the highest regard over anything else in the game. And there you have it. After many, many, many days of testing and hours spent playing Outbreak just to get to Legion, this is what I have decided to be the top 5 weapons for the Legion boss fight. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, and if you need help with the Easter egg, come drop by my Twitch channel. My link is in the description below, and I stream zombies practically every single night. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.